today. Quite a motherfucking bit. But I will be honest. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Because I didn't actually get a chance to play the Battlefield beta. Because I was lazy and I didn't feel like streaming. I will be playing it next week. But I didn't get a chance to play the Battlefield beta. But I did watch quite a bit of footage of it. And I'm going to just speak on my thoughts from what I saw. Because most of it was closed. And then only the last day was open. And then next week is going to be the open. Like I basically would have had to download a big ass game day of and delete a bunch of shit. It was a whole bunch of complications. But I got some information about the Battlefield beta mixed with my own thoughts. And I'm going to throw my own thoughts from what I saw in there as we go on. First thing I wanted to mention was that apparently it had some issues on PC. I watched like 2 different streamers play it and neither one of them I seen had issues. But I did hear about this, like the whole anti-cheat thing, because Battlefield is a bigger franchise, right? And every gaming franchise that's huge, that doesn't have great anti-cheat, will have a rampant cheating system. That's why I would imagine if you go on a website for Marvel Rivals cheats, you won't find many sellers, because Marvel Rivals, middle of a match, they'll cancel the match and say, we found a cheater. Any points you was about to lose from this ranked game, nobody loses points but the cheater. Like Marvel Rivals is quick about it. So for that game, there was not a lot of cheating and stuff like that in there, versus something like Call of Duty where they have terrible anti-cheat that they refuse to fix. And all over the place is cheater after cheater after cheater after cheater. So we're gonna read this article and see if the cheat makers, if they on their grind again or not. PC players participating in the open blah 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 nigga. Wait, were there cheaters in the beta? And the beta are being told to uninstall Valorant as games have conflicting anti-cheat software. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Why do you have Valorant installed in the year of our Lord and Savior 2025? That game was like tired and drawn out 6 years ago. And the game is 5 years old, so you do the math. As the games have conflicting anti-cheat software, while the evil ass niggas Electronics Arts title is already finding incredible success ahead of its full launch in October, but will it have 100 million, player success? While the EA title is already finding incredible success ahead of its launch in October, many BF6 players are frustrated by this requirement, with some even deciding to purchase the game for console instead. Like, jokes aside about Valorant being a dog shit game, I would understand that if I'm gonna put myself in the mind frame of if I was a sick in the head racist weirdo and I was still playing Valorant and I was told I have to uninstall Valorant if I also like Battlefield 6 and want to play that, I would be a little bit upset. Boo 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 took place from August 9th to 10th, attracting over 400,000, almost 500,000 concurrent players on Steam and becoming the most successful open beta in the history of the franchise. Players have been quick to applaud the game's gunplay sound design. Well, yeah, the sound design is good and they have some cool new mechanics, but I want to hear more about this. In a recent Zitter post, user Revolutionary Sun pointed out that when trying to launch BF6, they were told via a pop-up that the hero shooter, Valorant, would need to be uninstalled first. I don't even think they really like need Valorant to be uninstalled. I think they just trying to save a couple good souls. You know, they just trying to say those people that play Valorant because they're I don't know, jackasses, and they think they enjoy the gameplay when really they're just stuck in the free-to-play game loop. Like, come on over here, play our game. I think they're trying to convert those. Yeah. yo, what if let me scroll to like the picture. What if, okay, so they're telling you, what if the wait, hold on, I need my conspiracy theory music. Conspiracy theory time. What if they don't want you to uninstall Valorant because the anti-cheat is conflicting, and that's just an excuse they made to try and trick you into uninstalling Valorant so that your mental health can improve. Because, like, if you enjoy Valorant, you gotta be either one or two types of people. You either gotta be somebody who got tricked by all those dark science, dark magic, free-to-play tricks they be using on people's minds to trick them into playing subpar games that are free and buying a fuck ton of skins and spend a bunch of money they don't realize they're spending because they're spending it in small increments over time. Or you're just a racist little troll weirdo who just doesn't want to change to the new racist troll weirdo game because you're tired of being chat banned every time you call somebody a slur on Marvel Rivals. You're tired of being not punished every time you say something on Call of Duty. You're tired of getting clipped whenever you say something on Call of Duty. So instead, take your ass back to Valorant. What if this is just their way of providing free therapy to all Valorant users by getting them to delete the game? Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That's a banger theory, bro. That's a banger theory, bro. If that's true, they're really out here trying to save lives. That would be fucking amazing. But let's go back to reading though. I sure am glad that kernel level anti-cheat has reached a point to where they're all starting to conflict with each other. Future of gaming here. Yeah, that does. Oh, it's kernel level anti-cheat. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie about this shit on console. Because, like, without getting into the technical nerdy stuff, long story short, kernel level anti-cheat accesses parts of your system damn near irrevocably to the point to where it's not really recommended by any competent cybersecurity expert for you to install any game with kernel level cheat. That's part of the reason. The real reason why I stopped was because I got tired of the racism every match. But, like, that's a legitimate reason as to why I stopped playing Valorant. I'm not downloading no kernel level anti-cheat. If you need to reach into my kernel to stop cheaters, and games like Marvel Rivals doesn't, and they catch cheaters 1, 2, 3 like that, I don't know what to tell you, bruh. Sounds like you just suck ass. Battlefield 6 is the first entry in the series to utilize evil ass niggas proprietary Javelin anti-cheat system at launch. Initially launched as Evil Ass Niggas Incorporated's anti-cheating the 22nd year after the year 2020. After the year 2000, Javelin has been vastly improved over the years, though many players remain wary of kernel level programs. These have the highest level of access to a user's PC and blah 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 blah. Yeah, it could put you make you more vulnerable to get hacked. I just said that. During the early access phase of its open beta, it broke an all-time peak concurrent playing on Battlefield blah 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 blah. So you pretty much get the point. So if you have concerns about downloading or playing any game with like certain things like Denuvo or kernel level anti-cheat, be aware and be warned. That is in Battlefield 6. Wait, did I want to read this one first? Oh yeah, I wanted to read this one first because y'all see what that says right there? What happened to the days of letting a game come out and just playing a game and finding what you like? Why is it we got people for games that's still in beta making best gun build videos? Why are you looking for the best gun build video in a beta? Bro, the thing about gaming that I miss from older generations is like people just played the game. Like everybody wasn't trying to sit there and sweat and go pro. If you were good at the game, then you were good and you played. There might be a tournament or something you do for fun. But day one, people is trying to find the best gun builds. The game ain't even leave beta. To me, this is nuts because like I remember when beta meant that the game wasn't done. They were actually allowing players to access the game so that they may test it and find bugs and things like that or help refine the gameplay. Not for Battlefield. People is trying to add aimbot with the best attachments in the game. Can we just play the game for fun? I genuinely playing Marvel Rivals has spoiled me in terms of how I never run into cheaters. Like, I got that one video where I ran into a cheater on Marvel Rivals. That's it. Why? Like, I genuinely don't understand what people get out of cheating. Because, like, you're not gonna go pro using anti-cheat. That's not gonna happen. So if you do it for a stream or a video, that's against Twitch's TOS. That's against all these different platforms' TOS. So your content is either gonna get you straight up banned or suppressed. So that joint is just straight marketing for your services. And like, I'm not even mad at the people who sell it, because if there's something to be sold, there will be a seller. I'm mad at the people buying it, because what do you get out of this? There's no way you can tell me you get enjoyment out of having to cheat to beat other people in the game. Because at the end of the day, you're eventually just gonna realize, wow, when I'm not using these cheats, I'm just buns. Anyway, let's get back to the main article. Now that I got my little gripe out the way, got my little gripe off my chest. Unlike Battlefield 2042, BF6 just feels right. Blah 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 blah. I feared the worst, that weapons would feel like lasers, lacking recoil and personality to set each one apart. Excuse me. To Call of Duty's credit, the guns in Call of Duty are very diverse, and there's a very wide range of things you can do with your guns, and there's guns with drastically different gun feel. It's just everybody wants to be Mr. Go Pro, so everybody has to have the best, most broken attachments. Everybody has to use the one broken meta weapon. Like, everybody has to follow the meta. Hey guys, you don't have to follow the meta. It's cool to be aware of the meta. It's cool to know what the meta is, to pay attention to it if you're into that type of stuff. But come on, man. Play the game for fun. Jesus Christ. Lacking recoil and personality set each one apart. That's generally how I feel about 2042 and modern COD, where all the guns just blend into one indistinct blob. It's not that they blend into one indistinct blob, it's people boil it down to one or two guns, because aforementioned reasons. What Battlefield 6 gets right, at least with the selection of firearms available in the beta, is that every weapon feels distinct. The blah 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 feels different from the blah blah blah, nigga. Each weapon has a completely different feel. Pick up a new weapon and play with it for a round or two, and you'll already have unlocked the two most important attachments, a muzzle and a grip. After slapping a single port brake or the basic folding vertical grip on whatever the fuck the string of characters is, virtually all of the recoil that restrains the supposedly close range AR is removed. Congrats, you now have a goddamn laser that reaches across a fucking map. Does Battlefield, let me ask Perplexity, because I would think that Battlefield has fall off ranges. Let's see. Oh, boom. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna just type out Battlefield. Off range. I spelled field wrong. Fuck. Why is this shit so small? Oh, it wasn't even that. Weapons in Battlefield do have damage fall off ranges, meaning their damage decreases as the distance from the shooter to the target increases. So, what? So if that game has damage fall off ranges, how are you making lasers that's blowing across the map? Well, actually, no, that's what this video is trying to show me. I'm stupid. Okay, single port brake folding vertical grip. I'm confused. Oh, I see. So, wait, hold up. Let me move my face cam to the middle. So, like, pay attention to the red dot as, like, the shooting goes on. Like, the recoil in this gun is significantly more than the recoil in this gun. And if you don't know how to identify recoil, you see the top of this little white post? Pay attention to how far the red dot goes on this one versus this one. Rewind if you need to. I'm only playing it once. But you see how much harder it is to line up a shot on this side versus on the left? I mean, on the right? Like, it looks drastically different. Okay. Yeah, that is kind of oof. As shown in my testing above, it only gets more extreme when you use both a muzzle and a grippy, or even one of the... If you know, you know. It's... Or even one of the enhanced recoil controlling grips like the ribbed vertical, blah blah blah. Of course, the attachments also have their own downsides. For example, vertical grips improve recoil control at the cost of aimed accuracy during movement. Who gives a fuck? You're not aiming and running that often in this game. This game has a very, very high TTK, and there's none of that bailouts. Your healers walking around with a beam up your ass so that most of the damage getting done to you gets essentially negated. Like, no, in this game, you get shot in the head 5 times, you will go. Your body is hitting the floor. Boop, 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 boop. All headshots. That's you. Your soul is floating out your body. Somebody pick them up. Send them to the morgue. Woo, woo, woo. All you need are 2 attachments to remove the recoil that typically restrains weapons. Attachments are cheap, so you can equip a muzzle and a grip without actually sacrificing all that much in other areas. Why not turn your AR into an LMG by adding a larger magazine too, giving you all the benefits of an AR and none of the inconsistencies of LMGs? The positives far outweigh the negatives. So yeah, from what they're describing, pretty much I don't need to read the rest of this shit. We get the point. The gun balancing is kind of off, and there's a lot of goofy shit that could be very easily exploited and turn this game with this vast variety. Now, the guns I saw in the beta are limited, but I assume that the full game is either going to be like have more guns from the jump, or over time they're going to introduce more stuff. We'll have to see on that, like a roadmap or something like that. But the few guns that they did have, there was a lot of variety in terms of functionally how those guns operate, and like some guns are easier to upgrade and make good for different classes. So it encourages you to pick different weapons based on a class you pick, but also the flexibility for if you want to run any class with your favorite gun, which is an AK, let's say, you can do that as well. I don't know, man. I just hope this game doesn't become a one gun game, because that would really fucking suck. Former president of Blizzard predicts Battlefield 6 will boot stomp Call of Duty this year. War of words. Nah. You know what war and we're worried about? War of the motherfucking worlds. Let's go. Movie of the year, bruh. I said movie of the year, bruh. Damn, nigga, you deaf? I said movie of the year, bro. Anyway, apparently, one of the former presidents of Blizzard, if it's Bobby Kotick, we're gonna read this for shits and giggles. Because if it's Bobby, oh, that would be fucking funny. Oh no, it's Mike Ybarra. Posted on Zitter, he thinks that BF6 will. Okay, so that's just a tweet. Where's the fucking tweet? Oh, here we go. Here's the tweet. Because I want to see exactly what he said. Okay, so let me do this. Oh wait, I don't have to scroll to the top. No, I want to search on his page, bro. Oh, that's why I do have to scroll to the top. Is his username Quick or some shit? Yeah, it is Quick. But where the fuck did he say this? Did he delete it or something? Okay, let's just look up the word stomp, and if I can't find it, we're gonna take what this article says with a grain of salt. Oh, here we go. I spelled it wrong, my dumbass. Battlefield will boot stomp COD this year. Started the sentence off with a conjunction. The real win here is COD won't be lazy anymore, and we'll all get better FPS games for it. While I do agree with this sentiment of wanting games to have competition, the thing I think that gets heavily misinterpreted is that niggas gonna buy Call of Duty. Call of Duty is mathematically and statistically one of the best selling games of everything. It is one of the highest selling game franchises of everything. It's up there with the Call of Duties and the Smash Bros. In terms of sales. And for the last 10 years, I pulled it up on stream a while back. But for like the last 10 years, since like 2011, so over 10 years, that's 2011 and 2015, 14. For the last 14 years, every year, a Call of Duty game has been one of the top 10 selling games across all platforms, including Steam, Epic, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, Ouya, across all platforms. Call of Duty has consistently been one of the top 10 selling games. Even the games that people universally hated, like Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty niggas, they play a game they hate and they just sit there mad, shivering, going, "Oh, this game is trash." But you know what they doing while they saying this game is trash? And they genuinely hate the game too. They genuinely hate the game. They think the game is terrible. They think the game is dog shit. They in VC every day and party chats on Xbox and PlayStation every day saying this game is ass. This game is ass. Oh my god, this game is terrible. This game, oh my god, this game is so bad. But they still buy it. Again, the data I pulled up showed for the last 10 years it has consistently been a top 10 seller across all platforms. So I understand the sentiment, but like another thing I also want to add is like Battlefield is not that damn important. What I mean by this is Battlefield 2099 or whatever the hell it was called, right? That game came out, people talked about it for a month. The game, as all Battlefields usually do, didn't work on launch, on release, didn't work at all. People stopped talking about it, people stopped caring. They fixed the game a year later. The people who were playing it through all the glitches stayed, but everybody else, they got off the game already. They didn't care. They didn't give a fuck. The game didn't work. So they stopped playing it. And then when they fixed the game and made the experience good for the people who were playing, like it was too little too late. And every Battlefield since like 3 has done the same exact thing. It launches terrible. Everybody gets off the game. And by the time people are willing to come back, it's still not fixed, and by the time it's fixed, nobody's willing to come back. Happens every time. So this game like has had technical problems that have given people PTSD, but on top of that, Battlefield comes out once every few years. Call of Duty comes out every year after year after year after year, to the point to where people don't care how Call of Duty launches. They gonna buy it and play it no matter what, regardless, cause it's Call of Duty. It says COD on the box. It don't matter who it's made by. They gonna pop the disc in. They gonna load up that digital exe file, and they gonna play it. So like all this, I understand the sentiment, but I'm not gonna say Call of Duty is incapable of falling, but it's gonna be real difficult, and it's gonna take a force stronger than Battlefield to ever topple Call of Duty. Because again, I may not be a fan of Call of Duty, but remember, the average nigga that just goes to work every day and has a PlayStation or an Xbox in their crib and they play games for an hour or two a day, they're on average not a gamer, so they're not trying a wide variety of games. They're playing Call of Duty Warzone, they're playing Fortnite, they're going to sleep and getting up and going to work in the morning. Expedition 33 is a strong signal that players don't just want live service game, BioWare veteran says, but Grand Theft Auto 6's success will be a real indicator of the industry. Now, I have a problem with this statement. Like, off of what's going on in the title, my initial problem, because I'm gonna read the full quote for full context, but what I'm initially getting from this is that this nigga is sitting there giving GTA 6 the mean gobbles right now. Like he's Thanksgiving turkey. Gobble, 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 gluck, 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 gobble, 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 gluck, gluck, gluck. Like, yes, GTA 6 is a very big game. GTA 6 is a potentially industry-changing game. But the thing about it is, its success will not uplift or push down the success of the gaming industry. Every year, amazing games come out, and nobody plays them, but they exist. So the industry, when it comes to the people who actually play games, who actually support, which I actually, matter of fact, I have an article about that. We gonna just bring that up now. Where is it? Cancel. Boom, we gonna bring that up now. New study shows that Generation Z is spending way less money on video games than older games. Now, a while back, I remember reading an article on stream, showing it on stream, that was somewhere along the lines of, and I'll look and see if I could bring up an article that could show you the study. Where's the percent sign? 60% of gamers play games, and I'm gonna see if it fills it in for the rest of me. 60% of gamers play, there it is, giant bomb. Boom. 60% of all console PC game time going to older live service games. Story is kind of scary. Wait, no, that's just somebody talking about it. There we go. 60% of all playtime in 2023 was spent on live service games more than 6 years old. And the live service games that they weren't playing, probably more than 6 years old. Because again, what I always say, most people play games socially. So unless a game is the new big hit game out, or unless a game is getting so much universal praise, they start feeling FOMO, the average gamer is not gonna try it. And I say gamer softly because like it borders on, all right, you know how like there's people who listen to rap and then hip hop fans, like people who listen to rap, listen to Drake, think he's amazing. People who listen to hip hop will listen to somebody like Tyler the Creator and somebody like Drake and enjoy the positive aspects of both for what they're supposed to be. Because again, common hat to the side, lyrical spiritual music has a place in music just as much as, hey yo, have you ever put a half a brick in the air fryer? Just as much as, gra boom, I run down the block and I shoot me a hot. Music all have a place in hip hop. It's the same thing with games. Just as Call of Duty has a space in the gaming industry, because like it's like people's entryway. Some people play Call of Duty and they never evolve, and that's fine because at the end of the day, it's a video game. I just like getting jokes off. That's why I talk about it so much. But some people dip their toes in. They dip their toes in the 1 feet. That's Call of Duty. That's Fortnite. That's Madden. That's 2K. And some people just stay there. And when you go to the pool, not everybody got to swim. Some people may have a broken arm, so they can't swim. Some people may just be lazy and may just be going there to soak up vibes. But some people, they come to the pool because they want to use the pool. They want to swim in the water. So you may not be able to go to the 6 feet. You may not be able to play a Baldur's Gate. But you can at least try something like The Last of Us, Uncharted. Well, I would still say those are just above casual, but they're still further out than Call of Duty. You might get a split fiction in there because it's co-op, maybe a gang beat, something like that, because that's a very hyper casual party type game. But it's out the zone. It's enough out the zone of Call of Duty, and it's different enough to where it's like I gotta give people credit where they can get it. You know, gotta give credit where it can be given. But going back to this, let's read up on this new study. Matt Pistol. I can't pronounce that shit. Matthew Pistol. Let's read. Young grads have video game spend among 18 to 24 is down sharply. Yeah, because an entry level job requires years of experience. Young grads are having a much tougher time finding jobs. Swear to God, I didn't even read that part, but yeah. Student loan payments are restarting for millions of borrowers. Credit card delinquency rates have risen to their highest points since before the pandemic. Overall purchasing by 18 to 24s has plummeted, especially when compared to other age groups. And like, there's more shit here, more stuff to read, but I think you pretty much get the gist of it. And Every time I talk about this subject, I say the same thing. It comes down to it. When a recession is happening and people need to decide where to cut money, the first thing they go to is entertainment. They stop buying new games because they can't afford it. They stop buying tickets to go see shows on Broadway because they can't afford it. They stop going to see the latest and greatest movies because they can't afford it. That streaming service they were paying for, yeah, now they're going to a music unrelated. Now they're engaging in alternate methods so that they may enjoy the same content that they did before. But you know, hey guys, let's raise the price of games even more, especially the digital ones, where all you're charging me for is downloading a file off of a server. I'm downloading an exe. I can also do that for free. Now, I don't encourage that type of behavior all the time, but you know, people still do it, and that's what we're talking about. Anyway, going back to this, in a new interview with YT creator Mr. Matty Plays, Dara is asked if he has any concerns about the current state of the games industry and the economy for games. Economy for games amid ongoing challenges for developers, layoffs, and blah blah blah. I mean, last year it was survive till 25, and this year, and it's gonna be survive till 26, till 27. That's how every business is every year. And this year has definitely put the lie that to that, because it's more brutal this year than last year from everything I can see, and that's the case every year. Big Bro argues that in 2024 we were seeing the small money, like the people that invest in the very early starts of projects and studios and that are starting to come out of the shadows again, but then this year seems shakier than ever. Yeah, because people want fast turnarounds and returns on their investments when it comes to games and gaming, because like the gaming industry, in terms of being $1 billion industry, is a new thing. Like, you gotta remember, most of the people investing in these companies and stuff are either broke people investing minuscule amounts of money that don't matter, or people who are like those elite rich people walking around in walkers to their 15th board meeting today, where they get paid to say good idea, bad idea. They don't know anything about the gaming space, so they want money now. You sold the game, give me profits from those sales. That's all they know. They don't care about anything other than give me profits. So they push for things that go against what will create the profits that they're looking for. Then they scream, give me profits. They're beating the puppy for peeing, but the beating of the puppy is causing the peeing, metaphorically speaking. So it's like an endless cycle where the people who are trying to do something good, which in this case the proverbial dog is trying not to pee, but you're beating the dog again, and the dog pees when they're beat. But we don't want that, he continues. I don't think anyone who plays games really wants the industry to look like that. Yeah, because we care about the art, but at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, art isn't what pushes the industry forward in terms of longevity. Art pushes it forward let me phrase that more specifically. Art is not what pushes the forward in terms of longevity, stability-wise, financially. Stability-wise, historically, gaming will never go anywhere. Even if less and less people game because the world opens up more and everything becomes more open and outside again, which it will never go back to the way it was before. Concept you didn't already know, but excuse me. As the world opened up more, a lot of games have lost money and lost buyers that were just buying games because they was in the house bored. They had them stimmy checks and excuse me. The stimulus check money is in my pocket, burning a hole through it, and that is starting to burn my skin. And I wouldn't like to have third-degree burns, even if they were on my legs. That's where the tooties gotta kiss before they eat me out. So I'ma spend this money on a video game, and they was just buying whatever. So some people was buying games they didn't even care about because they were bored and they had money burning a hole in their pocket. They was just buying whatever. Now that everybody isn't sitting in the house just buying whatever, all their profits are going down, and it's causing them to beat the puppy because they saw a number. Because in business, people usually treat it like past numbers indicate the future, but That's not always the case. Because sometimes there's context that gets removed when you look at raw data. That's why data isn't good by itself. You have to understand the context to the data. You know that blank, you only have to worry about 5 games at your publishing organization, and then one will start to slowly decline, and then you go and you start to hunt for the one that's going to replace it as it eventually dies. But the thing about creative works is it's not as easy, because when it comes to creative stuff, you can't just, again, beat the puppy and tell them to stop peeing. Like, it doesn't work like that. You gotta teach the puppy where to pee instead of beating it for peeing on the carpet. And I know I'm driving that metaphor into the ground, but you kind of get my point, and it's also, you know, slightly comedic, so I'm gonna keep using it. I don't want the industry to look like that. That's what it's gonna look like, because that's what capitalism looks like. Starting a sentence off with a conjunction, I kind of feel like maybe people are starting to signal with their wallets that they don't want it to look like that either. Yeah, for the people who are more into the diverse, artistic, greater world of gaming. One great example of this, Big Bro continues, is this year's French JRPG, Claire's Scared Expedition 33. I can't say that shit all the time. I think Expedition 33 in a lot of ways is a strong signal, because it's a game made pretty cheaply with good but not overly good visuals. Yeah, because I don't know, like literally no gamer has ever said the game has to look like I could reach into my TV screen and grip a nigga by the throat and be like, oh my bad, I'm squeezing your throat out, yo my bad. Wait a minute, that's not real. I just touched my screen. Like, nobody asks for the graphics that level of real. We don't care. People who play 2K and look at the sweat animations, like they look at those sweat animations and they're too stupid still to realize you will never see that in game. Every time I talk, as I'm talking, I just see like the GTA 6 logo rising out of this fog in the back of my mind. He jokes around and fuckles around saying, I think that's going to be what decides, honestly. Ask me again after GTA 6, because if GTA 6 doesn't sell 70, 80 million copies, or whatever GTA 5 sold, then it's going to signal something. That's a dumbass statement, because you know GTA 6 is going to sell. He then goes on to talk about the problem with publicly traded companies, like so many of the major publishers are constantly finding that the line needs to go up even each quarter, and that's getting harder with dev times getting longer. Part of those dev times getting longer is because they're not listening to their devs. Like, again, this goes back into the problem, and like I'm about wrap it up here for this segment. But like, again, that's the problem. Them niggas will ask for features to be implemented in the game to try and extract more profit than a game should be able to. Because again, art is one of the hardest things to sell, because if the art isn't perceived as good by the person who would want to buy good art, then you pretty much sat there and spent your time making something that is quite literally unsellable. Like, imagine if you painted a painting that nobody wanted to buy. If you would have painted something else, if you would have sat down and did a commission for $20 instead of that ugly ass painting nobody wanted, you would at least have $20. That's not a consistent thing when it comes. Well, that concept is a consistent thing, but being able to consistently make something that's sellable is not always consistent. And also, as a creative, you're not gonna want to make the same over and over. You're gonna get tired of it. That's why those Twitter artists that have their commissions open, they have it open for a month, and then the other 11 months of the year is trying to do that one commission that they finally got. Like, it's a lot to say about this topic, man. It's a lot, and I think I'm kind of speaking on deaf ears, because none of these CEOs and execs give a fuck. They're gonna whip the puppy until it takes a shit eventually. It is what it is.